What up guys, and welcome back to part 2 of my solo Valtan guide. I think that Valtan is probably one of my favorite fights in this game. A lot of patterns in Valtan are extremely telegraphed and very easy to react to, but also can be extremely punishing if you get knocked off the map. But first, let's go over the Sidereal usages. Just like Gate 1, you could also use Thirain, Wei, and Balthar in Gate 2. Sidereal Thirain does a lot of damage and destruction. Sidereal Wei can be used for quick damage in this fight. Sidereal Valtan can be used for push immunity. This is often used during the ghost phase transitioning to prevent yourself from getting knocked off the map. At the start of the fight, if you look on your minimap, you can see 4 pillars have blue orbs. The goal at the start of the fight is to remove the armor stacks that the boss has. You can do so by having him charge into one of the 4 pillars and using destruction damage skills plus a destruction bomb. You can only deal destruction to the boss if he has charged into a pillar. When the boss jumps up, pay attention to see if there is a purple bar underneath the health bar. If yes, expect axes. This doesn't seem to happen on solo mode throughout the fight, but it does in normal and hard mode. Axes will spawn underneath your feet, tracking your movement. A few puddles will spawn, and then there will be a big red circle telegraph to avoid in the middle. You can avoid that by hugging the edges towards the end. When the boss's axe glows blue and becomes immune, he is phasing. This is a wipe mechanic. You need to pick up a blue orb in order to survive this mechanic, which you can see above your health bar. It is important to dodge the first red telegraph. If you do not do so, you will lose your shield and die. When the boss becomes immune and jumps up, he will slam back down in the center, breaking the walls. Pillars and pizza. The boss will jump up and draw pizza-like telegraphs on the floor. The boss will target you with a tracking cone that after a while will lock in. If you lock onto a pillar, it will explode, preventing you from hiding behind it. You only need to hide behind the first explosion. At 90 bars, the first platform break will happen. The boss will jump up and destroy either the left or the right side of the map. After spinning towards the center, he will spawn 4 pillars, which requires you to hide behind one of them. The yellow telegraph can knock you off. The boss will target you with another pizza cone. Remember, hitting pillars causes them to blow up. After the first pizza, the remaining pillars will also blow up. At 65 bars, the boss will jump up and land back in the center. After a short second, a puddle will spawn underneath your feet. There will be a cutscene into a counter. Wait for the blue telegraph to flash and you can counter. At 30 bars, the boss will jump up again and proceed to break the other half of the platform. Afterwards, he will spin to the center and spawn pillars again. Hide behind the first pillar to avoid the yellow telegraph. Destroying 2 pillars will give you more space to dodge to afterwards. You can also pay attention to the edges of the cone. When the outer lines are completely gone, he will swipe in front of him. Fighting on this broken platform is very scary because you are more likely to fall off the platform. He can do most general patterns. I find it very risky to go for counters on a broken platform, but if you are confident enough, you can go for them. It's also very important to know when you need to be close to the boss. At around 10 bars, the boss will phase into ghost phase. The boss will spawn 4 pizza cones. The first one starts based off of your positioning. After the pizza slices, he will proceed to fist into the ground. Standing too close can knock you, and there are also puddles that spawn at your feet. You will then want to dodge the red telegraph, get inside the safe donut, hide behind a pillar, and then dodge the following explosions. Standing behind the boss can trigger a spin immediately. The boss will attempt to grab you 3 times during ghost phase. You cannot push immune the grab. If you are grabbed, you will be thrown off the platform. During this phase, the boss will still do a few of his normal patterns and summon clones that need to be countered. If failed to counter, it is very likely that the clones will knock you off the platform. Countering will also remove a damage reduction stack from the boss. That is it for the main mechanics. Now onto the general patterns. Triple swing and twirl. Valtan will swing his axe twice in front of him and slam down on the ground. Try to get on his sides. If you are not close enough, he will attempt to throw you out. Valtan also does this pattern in Ghost Phase, which can be very deadly if you are not positioned correctly on his sides. Cross. In solo mode, a red cross telegraph will appear on the floor. He will then proceed to leap towards it. He can also do a spin afterwards, so be prepared if you are close to a ledge. Any of Valtan's patterns can knock you off of the platform. So be very careful if you are positioning yourself towards the ledge instead of towards the wall. Spin. A red circle will appear. Dodge this by running out. Retaliate. When the boss pulls his axe to the side, hide behind him on his hilt. He will attempt to retaliate any stagger dealt to him. Grab. When the boss has his left hand in front of him, he will attempt to grab you. If you are grabbed, it is very likely you will die or you will take near lethal damage. My sword here is 1460. Double slam. Valtan will attempt to slam the floor twice. If the first telegraph is soaked, he will not do a follow-up. There's also a rare third follow-up as well. Out, in. A big red circle will appear under the boss's feet. Simply dodge out and come back in afterwards, avoiding the puddle under your feet. Green orb. The boss summons a green orb in front of him that requires stagger and damage dealt to meet the check. Avoid getting hit by the lines on the floor because this will ignore your stagger. Now onto the counters. Charge counter. You can counter Valtan shortly after the second stomp. These next two counters are not in normal or hard mode. In solo mode, Valtan does a front, back, front slam. On the third slam, you can counter the boss. This is also not in normal or hard mode. The boss will track you, slamming for 4 puddles. On the 4th puddle, you can counter him. Sidereal. My personal recommendation for this raid is to use Thyrene for damage after the walls break. This will allow you to have Thyrene available again during Ghost Phase. That is all for the Valtan guide. I hope that this information was helpful. If you guys have any questions, you guys can always join my Discord or hop into one of my streams. I will be releasing Akkan and Ivory Tower guides next, as those are more popular. As usual, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.